Okay, I'm going to finish off this shelf and do the next one since it's pretty small. This is still philosophy. Culture and Modernity, East-West Philosophic Perspectives. The Public and Its Problems by John Dewey. The Philosophy of John Dewey, 2 volumes in one. You have The Structure of Experience and The Lived Experience. Mary Douglas's Purity and Danger. The Story of Philosophy by Will Durant. Umberto Eco's Interpretation and Overinterpretation. In The Praise of Folly and Other Writings by Desiderius Erasmus. The Arrogance of Humanism by David Ehrenfeld. Umberto Eco's Kant and the Platypus, Essays on Language and Cognition. Erich Fromm's Escape from Freedom. The Future of an Illusion by Freud. And The Ego and the Id by Freud. Francis Fukuyama's The End of History and the Last Man. Ortega y Gasset's Man in Crisis. René Girard's Things Hidden Since the Foundation of the World. One of these wonderful Loeb classical libraries. This is Epictetus Discourses, books 3 and 4 of the Enchiridion. Erik Erikson's Identity in the Life Cycle. I don't have enough psychology for a section of its own, so some of this stuff just goes into philosophy. Fichte's Introductions to the Wissenschaftslehre. Foucault's An Archaeology of Knowledge. Foucault's The Order of Things, An Archaeology of the Human Sciences. The Closing of the Western Mind by Charles Freeman. The Golden Bow by James Fraser. Make sure these are getting back in there properly. Hegel's Phenomenology of Spirit. Hegel's Reason in History. Walter Kaufmann's great book on Hegel, Hegel a Reinterpretation. Hegel's introductory lectures on aesthetics. The Phenomenology of Spirit Reader, Critical and Interpretive Essays. A Guide to Heidegger's Being and Time, because everyone needs a guide to that. Heidegger's Basic Writings. Donna Haraway's Modest Witness, Second Millennium Female Man Meets Onco Mouse. She's a feminist historian of science. The Zero Fallacy and Other Essays in Neoclassical Philosophy by Charles Hartshorne. Doubt, A History by Jennifer Michael Hecht. A Hegel Dictionary by Michael N. Wood. The Blackwell Guide to Philosophical Logic. The Structural Transformation of the Public Sphere by Jürgen Habermas. And I think over here I'm going to work my way up from the bottom. See how far I get. First of all, Theory of the Leisure Class by Thorstein Veblen. Tragic Sense of Life by Miguel de Unamuno. The Art of Memory by Francis A. Yates. Clear and Queer Thinking, Wittgenstein's Development and His Relevance to Modern Thought. Seneca's Letters from a Stoic. The Stoic Philosophy of Seneca, Essays and Letters with an Introduction by Moses Haddis. This is volume 2 of The Age of Meaning, Philosophical Analysis in the 20th Century by Scott Soames. Persons and Objects by Trenton Merricks. From my college days, Cornel West's Democracy Matters. The Ego and His Own, The Case of an Individual Against Authority by Max Stirner. And The Black Swan by Nasib Nicholas Taleb. Here we have the Philosophical Discourse of Modernity, 12 Lectures by Habermas. Paul Ricoeur's The Symbolism of Evil. Volume 1 of Karl Popper's The Open Society and Its Enemies. Wittgenstein's Blue and Brown books. Thoreau's Walden and Resistance to Civil Government. Introducing Hegel. Wittgenstein's Culture and Value. A biography of Wittgenstein by Ray Monk called The Duty of Genius. Volume 2 of Karl Popper's The Open Society and Its Enemies. Cornel West's Keeping Faith, Philosophy and Race in America. A book of essays by Richard Rorty called Philosophy as Cultural Politics. Merleau-Ponty's Phenomenology of Perception. Iris Murdoch's The Sovereignty of the Good. And Alexander Nehemes's The Art of Living, Socratic Reflections from Plato to Foucault. And a couple more From a Logical Point of View by W.V. O'Quine. And A View from Nowhere by Thomas Nagel. Here we have Steven Pinker's The Stuff of Thought, and hidden behind there you can see The Essential Purse. That's Charles Sanders' Peirce. More by Steven Pinker. The Blank Slate. And I think I might hold this up and read off the titles. Plato's Philebus, Robert Nozick's Philosophical Explanations, Robert Nozick's Socratic Puzzles, Martha Nussbaum's Hiding from Humanity, Rorty's Take Care of Freedom and Truth Will Take Care of Itself, John of Salisbury's Politicraticus, The Construction of Social Reality by John Searle, The History of Sexuality. What volume is this? I don't know. This is volume 1 by Foucault. I do have some Eastern philosophy, but not much. This is Chan's A Source Book of Chinese Philosophy. Evil and Modern Thought by Neiman. Marias's, I don't know how to say the last name, Marias's History of Philosophy. 2 books by Herbert Marcuse, One Dimensional Man, and then Eros and Civilization. Jacques Maritain Natural Law. Martha Nussbaum's Love's Knowledge. The Greek Sophists. Bertrand Russell's Religion and Science. Bertrand Russell's Why I'm Not a Christian. Bertrand Russell's Skeptical Essays. And Bertrand Russell's A History of Western Philosophy. And on the top, we have Hume's An Essay Concerning Human Understanding, a biography of William James in the Maelstrom of American Modernism by Robert Richardson, F.O. Mathiassen's biography of the James family, Hume's another copy of The Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding, Max Horkheimer's Critical Theory, selected essays, A Pluralistic Universe by William James, The Will to Believe by William James, The Writings of William James. We have 2 volumes of Plutarch, the Moralia, Volume 14, and the Moralia, Volume 13, Part 2. Jean-Paul Sartre's Being and Nothingness, some work by George Steiner, the literary critic, Lessons of the Masters, Errata, Real Presences, and My Unwritten Books, Kai Nilsson's Naturalism and Religion, Ernst Nagel's Teleology Revisited, two more Loeb Library books, Diogenes Laertes' this is, yes, The Lives of the Eminent Philosophers, and this is another one of the Enchiridion, the volume 1 of the Enchiridion by Epictetus. And then you have Spinoza's On the Improvement of the Understanding and the Ethics and some of his correspondence. And then there is all of Plato in paper-thin Bible paper. That's about, I guess, 2/3 of the philosophy section. I'll do the rest on another day.